movie yet. We're recording this Sunday. It came out Friday, so it's still.
Beer spill aisle, whatever.
No,
not on me. Let me grab something. I guess. I don't know.
Welcome to the podcast where a guy that watches Marvel movies discusses movies with a guy that watched a couple Marvel movies.
And today we're reviewing Spider-Man No Way Home, right?
I'm pretty sure it's No Way Home, yeah.
Yeah.
No Way Home. This is a lot of years in the making. Right?
I don't know how long it was, actually.
It has a lot of different people from a lot of different movies from a long fucking time.
Oh, if that's what you mean by it, then yeah. I thought you meant this one film was just like they spent a lot of time on it.
My first impressions
anticipating it.
are it's like a celebration of Spider-Man in a way. Like all of the Spider-Men.
All the Spider-Men. I was wondering if that's the plural for it, if it's Spider-Men or Spider-Mans.
True. Spider-Man sounds weird, but I feel like it's right though.
Yeah, but I don't know why I think that, but it felt Spider-Men feels weird.
It does. So how does this movie start? This movie starts from Far From Home.
Yeah, it starts where that one ended. Where
where Mysterio.
Who is Mysterio actually?
A villain.
Because I didn't see two. He's a villain, and so why were people siding with him in this one?
He kind of played like they think Spider-Man killed him.
But if he's a bad guy, why is that?
They didn't really know because like Mysterio was trying to portray himself as a good guy. That was the video at the beginning. And he like called out. He was like, "He's Peter Parker."
So he was playing the field. He was playing both sides.
Yeah. And
it starts off with him. It shows that, and everyone's like, "Yo, fuck Spider-Man," or "I love Spider-Man."
Yeah, people are kind of split between Peter. They're all calling him Peter now. They're not even calling him Spider-Man since they all like act like they know him. You know?
Yeah. Which, thinking about it, like just from the start in the movie, he's 17. Imagine being like 17 a superhero, but then everyone finds out your identity. Like,
yeah, man.
that's
one reason why I like Spider-Man though. Because he's not your average like adult superhero. He's always been a kid. And the thing is about the Tobey Maguire movies, I'm not knocking those movies. They're perfect. The first two are perfect. We don't talk about the third one. The first two are perfect. But Tobey's like the guy portraying Spider-Man at the time was like 36.
And he's
you know what I mean? He was like 30 something.
In those films, is Spider-Man a kid? Is it a 30-year-old playing
He's
child?
a kid. Yeah. Or? So it was kind of like Tom Holland started Spider-Man when he was like 18.
And he still
looks like a kid. So. Yeah, he looks really fucking young. So there's that. And that's why I love Tom Holland. Not saying I don't love the other ones, but I love Tom Holland. He's doing great. Keep it up, bro.
Yeah, I think he did this really well. I want to see some other stuff he's in. I saw a trailer when we were in there for
Uncharted.
Something. Yeah, I would watch that probably just because he's in it. I haven't played the game.
Game's good. It's pretty good. But then it goes to, by the way, guys, if you haven't seen this movie, which there's not that many of you that haven't seen this movie yet, we're recording this Sunday. It came out Friday. So, yeah, this is box office weekend on Sunday.
Yeah, so you probably should have seen it already.
And if you haven't, we are spoiling this movie.
Yeah,
so if you haven't seen
spoilers.
It, turn this shit off, go watch it, then listen to us talk about it because we don't want to fuck it up for you like all those people that have been fucking up for everybody on YouTube. There's actually YouTube of clips of the movie that keep getting taken down right away, but like they're doing it to spoil it for people.
Oh, jeez.
Like, why?
People get some weird sense of pride in that.
Like you're lame, bro.
They get joy from stealing joy. It like powers them up.
Get a life.
It's like the what's it called? It's like Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
How the screams power the city.
Yeah.
That's them. They're taking away the joy from others, and that powers them up.
Fuck y'all.
Yeah.
But as of Sunday, dog, we haven't had a movie. I don't know. Don't quote me right here. I don't want anybody in the comments to be like, no, actually. I don't think that there's been a movie that's done over 500 million during COVID.
But this did?
This has already done 6.
Jeez, 2 days in?
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good movie.
It is the 3rd highest as of right now on Sunday. Sunday's not over. There's probably still like 5 or 6. No, there's probably like 3 or 4 showtimes left. But it's done 600 million, which is 3rd of the best weekend of any film. Not during COVID, but ever.
What are the other 2?
Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War.
Oh, jeez. So they're just the best.
Out of the 5, 4 are Disney.
Jeez.
Yeah. The one that isn't is a Fast and Furious film.
Huh.
So
Disney's
that's
just
why.
got a monopoly on good movies, I guess.
The Marvel movies do well. And this one did pretty well.
This one is cool too because I feel like no matter how well a movie does, there's always mixed reviews. But everything I've heard from everyone is like, it was insane. This is the best. I loved it. I haven't heard a bad take on it yet.
Someone told me I was talking about this, and they were like, "How was it?" And I was like, "It was amazing." And they were like, "Oh, I've heard mixed things."
Where are they hearing the mixed things?
Who the fuck said this shit was trash? I want to meet him or her.
They can have the opinion. I just haven't bumped into those people yet.
Yeah.
Every comment I've read, every person I've heard from, they enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think so too. So they're swinging. They're trying to avoid the news because everyone's like, it's Peter Parker TMZ shit. Like, it looks like Spider-Man's worst enemy at this point is social media.
Yeah,
because he ain't worried about the feds getting to him. It's social media that's got him fucking everywhere. Because he's Peter Parker and MJ's first time swinging, so she's about to puke.
It's a cool modern take still.
Yeah.
Like even in the beginning, it's showing how.
Yeah, for sure.
It makes it feel like it could have happened, even though clearly it's unrealistic. We don't have superheroes and shit, but it takes those and puts it into our universe kind of.
For sure. And Happy and Aunt May are breaking up because it was just a fling, according to Aunt May, and Happy's upset about it, and then. He's trying to.
He was like in denial.
Yeah, he's trying to avoid. Parker's trying to avoid the helicopters and shit outside, so he's trying to like change the subject. What about you guys? You guys were good, trying to change the subject. And then they realize like there's like mad press outside, and after that, he gets the idea. They talk about MIT. And how they applied, and due to Spider-Man controversy, they all get denied.
Yeah, which kind of sucks, but it makes sense too.
Yeah,
if I were MIT,
they don't want that bad press on them,
And so he's like, "Yo, what should I do? I'm gonna go to I forget his name. Fill in the blank for me real quick.
Doctor Strange.
I'm gonna go to Doctor Strange and ask him to help my ass.
I fucking love Doctor Strange. He's great. I didn't really like him in this movie though. Actually,
oh, this is my only exposure to him, and I like. It's
kind of like the angry dad in this movie.
Maybe that's just the role he plays in Spidey's life.
No, that was Iron Man for a while, but we can't talk about that because you haven't seen.
He's
them.
Dead. I know that much.
You know that?
But I don't know if that's forever.
It's forever.
Why?
Because
why? In the multiverse, people.
Because they're not signing Robert Downey another fucking $50 million contract.
But. The fact, I feel like this movie kind of opened the gates for stuff like that to happen.
Yeah. Because of the time stuff?
Yeah, so...
they didn't do any time stuff in this one. They did multiple universes.
Yeah, but within the multiple universe, one of the things I remember the key takeaways in the beginning was when people started coming into this verse, what's the dude with arms again? Octavius, right?
Dr. Octopus.
Octavius and... Green Goblin mentioned that one of them had mentioned that Octavius mentioned that Green Goblin had been dead.
Yeah, he dies in the first
movie.
movie.
He was pulled from a multiverse before he died. So why couldn't an Iron Man be pulled
why
from a
can't they be
multiverse
pulled
before
from
he died?
different time periods?
Or
I mean,
where
technically they were because the way I saw it, I'm going to say it right now. Everybody said it was predictable because it leaked that Toby and Andrew were in it or hinted at it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think they were going to be in it because Spencer was here the other day talking about the movie. Well, not talking about it because I would have kicked his ass if he spoiled anything. But we were talking about it, and I was like, I'm kind of going in knowing Tobey Maguire's not going to be in this film. And somehow they fucking did it and put my Spider-Man, that's my Spider-Man, Hashtag not my Spider-Man. In the movie. And I cried. I straight up just started crying. I started crying as soon as I saw him. I was just like, oh my God, this is so awesome. Just having a moment, you know. I've never cried more than in a movie.
I mean, I like Spider-Man, but seeing him did not make me want to tear up.
I cried.
There were parts in the movie that conveyed a lot of emotion to me, though. I can't think of a part off the top of my head, but there were a lot of parts where, like, they really made me feel what they felt.
Yeah,
and
it's a roller coaster for sure.
I felt like I could have cried, you know what I mean?
For sure.
It was
definitely a roller coaster for sure.
It was well done.
For show. And after that, we'll do scene by scene generally. Doctor Strange does the spell. Parker keeps fucking it up. And some villains come back.
Well, yeah, he fucked it up by... The spell was supposed to make everybody forget him. But as he keeps thinking about it, he's like, wait, I want this person to not forget me. I want this person to not forget me. I want this person.
Yeah.
And he did it like 6 times to the point where it like transmutated the spell to pull in people that knew Peter Parker instead of making everyone forget him.
Yeah. Did the opposite.
Yeah, which then starts like making people from other multiverses come into this universe.
Yeah, which was cool because it kind of gives, like, when they've rebooted Spider-Man so fucking much, where like issues with 3 happened, so they rebooted it with Garfield, and issues with that happened, and then they took a decent break, and then Sony finally were like, hey, Disney, yeah, we'll do this with you if you do this. Do like a quid pro quo, made a deal together to have, because Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man, the movies, not Marvel. So they have like a deal together where they're both doing it. And with that, they made it feel like that the previous ones still have purpose.
Like it was all still a part of this?
Kinda.
Not like it was rebooted, but it was just more sequels, kind of.
That it was just, they're just other universes within the, there's our universe, and then there's that one, and then there's that one. And also what
Which universe is like the canon, I guess, universe?
Tom Holland. Yeah.
And he's the first one that had it intertwined with other films?
Yeah. That, something like this has never happened before, and I think that's why it's so exciting. That... Like, because Batman's never brought old Batman back.
This is canon of the comics still, though, right? Or in a way? Because
there's so many universes in the comics that you could literally have anything happen.
That's a genius premise for writing, where you just leave the opportunity open to do anything you want.
Yeah, for sure. Spider-Man's been a thing since 1963, dude.
And they can continue to change it, but the
do.
Premise of the multiverse establishes, like... You can literally do anything, and it can just be an alternate timeline, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like the concept of a multiverse implies that there's almost a universe where anything happens.
For sure.
And so it's just sick how they leave the door open to do whatever they want.
And also,
super creative
not
freedom.
only it makes it feel like those Spider-Man movies that we know and love and have nostalgia to have purpose in this current one, but also it kind of builds on, it doesn't give us a sequel to those, but it does give us some interpretation of what happens after Spider-Man 3, after The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker starts talking about like things that happened after Amazing Spider-Man, like the Rhino, because that wasn't in the movies, him battling his mourning Gwen Stacy and how he struggled to be Spider-Man because of that. And then Toby talks about being with MJ and like marrying her and stuff. And it's really good because these are kind of sequels to those movies at the same time.
Yeah, it's like,
so it's really
an
fucking cool
for every universe,
for sure.
Not just a third one in this universe.
It just had me in the fucking feels, man. It had me in the feels because the first Spider-Man with Tobey came out in 2002, man.
That's insane. I was 4 years old.
Yeah. I was 13. I've seen every Spider-Man movie in theaters. I saw the first one in theaters with my friend Ben and his dad.
Shout out Ben's dad.
Shout out. And we saw it, and I just loved it so much. And I saw 2 and 3 in the theater. Didn't like 3 that much. I saw 3 with Ryan. my friend Ryan. And
Shout
then
out Ryan's
I
dad.
saw the amazing I saw the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 in theaters. I saw 2 twice because I saw it in IMAX when I went to Orlando. And then I saw Homecoming. The only one
I fucked with that one. I
yeah,
saw
that
one in
one's
theaters,
so
actually.
good, so
And
good.
I didn't have Regal Unlimited yet. I
You
just watched that to
paid.
watch
Holy
it.
shit.
Damn, I didn't even think about
Holy
that.
shit, bro.
I watched that with Eric. Shout out Eric.
Shout out to Eric, bro.
And shout out Eric's dad. Shout out all the dads.
Spider-Man's dad. Oh, he dead.
Spider dad.
Spider dad. But the only one I didn't see in theaters was Far From Home.
That was the second one in this, right? I haven't seen that.
I was
yet.
just burnt out on superhero films. And
Was there
if
a lot that came out that year?
I don't remember, but I was just burnt out because I think it was because I was burnt out on like after the Infinity War and Endgame thing. It was like right after that, and I was just kind of you know, like even though Spider-Man's
I
my
haven't seen
favorite,
those.
was
I probably
burnt
should
out.
eventually.
Yeah, you probably should see the Avenger films. And,
I'm
like,
interested in going down that rabbit hole. And
that's a
watching all
big rabbit hole,
They're only
man.
like 20 or 30 movies, right?
That's like
60
40,
hours. That's like
50,
3 days no
60
sleep.
hours. Yeah.
That's 3 days no sleep. Easy peasy.
We'd have to watch them all back to
Just
back.
do some blow.
Yeah.
Back to back in the order they came out, or the order like the sequence.
How would you want to
timeline?
do it? Sequence time? So
I
it makes
don't-
sense?
Wouldn't it make sense no matter what?
Yeah.
I would just slowly put the pieces together.
Yeah.
I don't know how
I'd like to do it.
Which movie
I don't really give a
starts
fuck.
both of them?
Iron
So, like,
Man.
Iron Man is the start to both of the lines that we would go down.
Yeah.
So then I could watch Iron Man, then pick what I want to watch next
Yeah.
based on that.
I mean, if you want. Oh, you're just going to pick?
no, so like
Oh, which timeline?
Yeah, there's a
Okay,
timeline
yeah,
where we
yeah,
watch
yeah.
them in order, and there's
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
came out, and one
Yeah.
where we watch them in order of the
Yeah,
other.
it
And then
starts
I
with
could just
Iron Man.
they both started Iron Man.
Yeah.
So then I could be like, all right, what's that? I've seen Iron Man.
Well,
It's a
no,
long time ago.
no. I'm a fucking liar. It
Lying ass
starts,
bitch.
timeline, it starts Captain America.
Both of them though.
No.
So, sequentially from release, they started Iron Man, and sequentially from the timeline, it starts at Captain America.
Yep.
So I'd have to pick right off the bat which one I'd want to start on.
Yeah. Because Captain America's during World War II.
That's interesting. I'll think about it. I'll
Okay,
think about it.
for sure. I just love these fucking movies, and then all these new villains come back, or the old villains come back. You see Doc Ock says, "Hey, Peter," and he's confused because his Peter doesn't look like his world's Peter, but he still wants his. It's continuing from Spider-Man 2, where he's looking for the uranium or some shit. And he thinks Parker has it, so he's like going after Parker, but he doesn't have it because this is some other motherfucker.
Yeah, it's a whole different man.
Yeah, so, but it's crazy how they took this Parker, and since this Parker's so technologically more advanced than the other Parker, Dr. Octavius is kind of a joke because he just links his suit with his legs or his animatronic things and just controls him.
But the
I think
things
that was
control
cool.
him, right? Not
Yeah, because his chip fried. In the
and
second one.
we don't know that in the films, do we? Do we know that before now?
Yeah. It happens in Spider-Man 2 and Tobey's Spider.
oh.
Yeah.
But this Spidey's able to just like try to help him, which kind of
Yeah,
cool.
so it kind of picks off from that, and that's what I really like. And then Gobby comes back, but then
Gobby?
Green Goblin.
Oh,
It's like a nickname.
that was a shit name. I didn't
That's
like that one.
That's how many times I've seen
Gobby.
this
That
movie.
sounds like a fucking Lord of the Rings character.
Yeah, it
Gobby.
does. But Spider-Man just calls him Gobby in the first one.
Oh.
It's you're the one.
What was his
what is the
actual
quote?
name, like his human name?
Willem Dafoe.
Wait, that's the
Or
actor or the
That's the actor.
No, who like what's Green Goblin's
Harry
name? when he's-
Osborn.
Osborn.
Norman Osborn.
Norman Osborn.
His son's
'cause
Harry Osborn.
That they were referring to each other. The Octavius and
As
him
their
refer.
name.
Yeah, so that's
Because
what
they
I
know
like
each other on a
them as
personal
their
level.
names
Yeah,
right now.
they know each other on a personal level.
Osborn and Octavius.
Yep. So
I thought real quick it was an interesting take how they're able to help Octavius with this problem like pretty early on comparatively to the rest, and he becomes like a good
his
guy.
was easy. Well, he was always a good guy, but
The suit made him a bad
I feel
guy.
like you haven't seen these movies
In
that
a long
much.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
for
been
sure,
like
for sure.
probably 10
I
years.
rewatch these movies all the fucking time, all the time. So I know, like, they're embedded in my head, and I mean, I cry about them, you know. So his is easy because his chip just fried. That's all that happened. So and he made the chip to protect his brain.
And you said this movie was 2002, right?
The movie Octavius is Spider-Man 2,
which is when
2005.
Yeah, there's still 17 years of
for sure.
Technological advancements happen. So this Peter just is like 17 years smarter.
Exactly. So they poured him back to the dungeon, and then Doctor Strange explains you need to get all these guys in here, do that, and he's like, "Oh well."
It felt like a game quest. Like
yeah,
there's like 6 bosses you have to go collect.
Yeah, it kind of was. And then he meets Aunt May on the path, and then Aunt May's like, "Why don't you just help them instead?" Aunt May, this was dumb. This was a dumb choice, and she put it in his head that he should help. The whole great power, with great power comes great responsibility that Uncle Ben has done in every universe, but there is no Uncle Ben, I feel like. What I thought originally is because there was kind of an article about it when they asked Kevin Feige what he was going to do with Spider-Man Homecoming, because this is the 3rd reboot within 15 years of Spider-Man. Are you going to do the same origin story again? And he was like, you know what? We don't have to. We're just going to, throw Spider-Man out there to you guys and see if you like it. And from what I see with these 3 films turned into just the longest origin story ever. Because then in this one, you find out in this universe, there is no Uncle Ben at all.
Mm-hmm.
So what we originally thought that Uncle Ben got killed before the screen, like before the first movie, and you just don't see it. What I see that there is no Uncle Ben in this universe, and Aunt May becomes the Uncle Ben role. She fills that gap and tells him, with great power comes great responsibility. And during this scene where Goblin, Norman Osborn, attacks Peter because he turned back because he was trying to save them, and he has kind of a split personality, so he attacks him and Aunt May, and this is like right before Aunt May dies, which was a fucking scene.
It was pretty well done.
It was well done.
It felt vaguely
was
familiar for some reason. Like I feel like it reminded me of something, but I can't put my tongue on what it is.
It reminded me of the scene where Iron Man dies in Endgame.
I haven't seen that, so that wouldn't be the scene for me.
It reminded me of that a lot.
Endgame spoilers.
I'm sorry.
We didn't even put that on.
I'm sorry.
If you're watching this, there might be Endgame spoilers.
For sure. It just reminded me of that because that scene is with Tom Holland as well. I think. I'm pretty sure. Because Tom Holland and Iron Man, they kind of have a mentor-dad vibe, kind of.
Yeah.
So that shit was touching. And in this one, Aunt May is like, she's pretty much all he's fucking got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This dude's an orphan.
Yeah.
This dude was an orphan, and Aunt May brought him in, and now he's a double orphan.
Now all he's got is his girlfriend and his best friend.
Right. And does he?
I mean, we haven't got to that point.
Yeah, we haven't. And then he goes on this fucking, I don't know if we skipped anything, but he goes on this quest and collects them all like Pokemon, but he just can't do what Doctor Strange said.
Yeah, so after he collects them, he's supposed to send them back by hitting like this button on a box, but he like has a moral dilemma where he's like, I want to send them back, but all of them were like in an instance where they were near death when they left, so if he sends them back, they're just going to die. And so...
But that's how it's supposed to happen, bro. This story didn't have to happen.
So one thing though that this kind of like alludes to what happens later on, but when the Spider-Mans all like come together, the 2 prior ones indicate that there was like a fit of rage that they ensued that caused them to kill their first villain.
For sure.
That has kind of tainted who they were, and they urged him to not be that way. And so the fact that he did this early on and it took him down this weird rabbit hole kind of is good in a sense that now these guys are going to go back fixed, and maybe that'll help the Spider-Man of the other universes because now they aren't going to ruthlessly kill these people, and it might not weigh down on their conscience and make them worse people.
Yeah,
so it could have like a much grander impact than we make it out to be. But like just looking at the film as a whole, it makes it look like Aunt May's a fucking idiot, and that she just set him up for death.
Yeah, probably.
And herself, because like you could just send and kill all these bad guys. Or you could put us all at risk and keep all these super powerful
And
people
like
here.
Doctor Strange even explained to him, there are infinite amount of universes. Trying to do that would be fucking pointless. And for some reason, Parker still goes, you know what? I should try.
Well, there's infinite problems in the world, but we should still try to fix what we can.
Yeah, but not in a cobweb like that.
Well, realistically, the world we live in is like a cobweb like that. There is infinite possibilities that could ensue, and there's infinite things that could be fixed, but that doesn't mean you don't like wake up and make your bed.
No, sometimes things are 50-50
What do you mean?
in our world. There's not an infinite.
I think that's wrong. There's infinite possibilities for like everything.
I mean, if I give you 2 doors and tell you there's candy in one and a knife in the other to kill you, that's 50-50 right there.
But I don't know that that's what's going to happen. Okay, so you were saying, like, if you were to give me 2 choices of, like, 2 doors, I mean, like, when you simplify it to that extent, I guess, like, it seems like there's only 2 options, but realistically, I don't know what's in there. You could be lying, which then, if you're lying and they're inverse, it's only, like...
I don't believe in multiverses in real life.
No, I'm not saying there is. I'm just saying there's... The main premise of what I was trying to say is that in the multiverse, there's literally there's a different amount of infinite. So like between the numbers 1 and 2, there are infinite like decimals because you can have 1.1, 1.11, 1.111, and there's an infinity between 1 and 2, but there's also an infinity between 1 and 3 that is twice as big as the infinity between 1 and 2.
Okay.
And so the multiverse is just multiplying the amount of infinities, but each individual verse has an infinite number of problems that could be solved. And so like we have that verse, and if we were to wake up and be like, man, there's so many problems in the world that I can't solve that I'm not even going to shower and brush my teeth and make my bed today, then we would all be depressed and fucking kill ourselves. Right. But you can acknowledge that there's infinite problems and you can't fix them all, but you can fix what's in front of you. And that's kind of what he did. He can't save everyone that's ever existed in every verse. Yeah, but people happen to come from his verse into this verse, and he's going to do what he can to take care of them, you know?
Yeah, but I just think it was a bad choice.
It worked out in the end.
And I think the choice was obvious. No, it didn't.
He lost Aunt May, but he saved all those people.
No, he didn't.
What do you mean?
He had to redo the spell anyway.
But
and take them all back.
No, they did leave, but they left fixed. He fixed the chip on Octo. It didn't inverse everything he did. All the spell that was cast towards the end did was make them forget who Peter Parker is. So they're fixed. They just don't know that he's the one that did it.
I guess so.
So like he succeeded in everything he tried to do. He
just but lost like a small percentage of the people.
And he did have to live with the ramifications of his misplay.
I guess so. I just think that they didn't have to do the story, but I think the reason why they did this is to kind of wrap up the trilogy and like be ready, like set it up for a new one.
What do you think comes next?
No idea.
Like, is it another Spider-Man film? Is there another like collaborative film?
Oh yeah, they just signed Tom Holland to 3 more films.
But is it
three more standalone Spider-Man films?
All
yeah,
right.
He's going to be in mixed films too. Scene by scene. What were we talking about? Which scene were we on?
I don't even know. To be honest.
Yeah, we were on the quest where after
he finished collecting everybody.
He collected them, and then
he betrays.
They go, hey, why don't we try to save everybody and go and like get serums and stuff, and then where it gets hostile and starts flipping is when Norman Osborn's Green Goblin personality comes out, and then Electro already didn't want to go anywhere. He
likes the way this universe feels. Like there's more power, which
and he
makes
looks
sense.
better too.
Technologically, there's been more advancements in this universe, right, comparatively to the others. So there probably is more like power per se for him to absorb. So his potential is higher here.
So, and I don't know why Sandman just dips, because Sandman wants to see his daughter, so he wants to go back to his universe. So but that's just where it gets wild. And Harry, what's his name?
Why? My understanding is Sandman wants to go home, but he wants But the only way that Peter is going to let him go home is if they fix these other people. But he just wants to go home. So he becomes kind of on the side of the bad guys because their objective is also just to go.
Yeah, for sure.
So they're trying to take the thing from him.
For sure. And that's where it gets hostile. And then then it flashes to Aunt May dies. And then it flashes to Ned and MJ. Just vibing at Ned's house, waiting for a message from Parker.
Yeah, and then Ned is just like, yo, I wish I could see Peter right now.
And the little spark comes.
Yeah, and I think we missed this part, but what's the doctor's name? Strange?
Yeah.
He gets in a fight with Spider-Man in some like universe, and Spider-Man fucks him
It was
up,
like one of Strange's like.
Yeah, he leaves
verses.
with one of Strange's relics though, and he gives that relic to Ned. It's like it looks like brass knuckles, kind of, but they only
half
go,
a brass. Yeah, half.
They only
knuckles.
go on these 2 fingers, and
yeah,
so
for sure.
he has this on the whole time, and he's like, "Man, I wish I could see Spider-Man." He does some weird hand gesture, and one of Strange's portals opens, and it shows Spider-Man, and they're like, "Yo, Peter!" And then Peter walks in, but it's not there. Peter.
It's not there, Peter. I knew who it was as soon as I saw it because I could tell the suits apart, like that. And I knew who it was. I just didn't think we were going to see him for some reason. For some reason in my head, I just didn't think we were going to see other Spider-Men in this movie. And as soon as the mask goes off, I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, so Andrew Garfield's in this movie. That's pretty dope. I thought it was cool.
He's the one that I didn't know. Like, I haven't watched any of his films, but I'm just like, I got kind of excited just for another Spider-Man. And like,
yeah, for sure.
They did a really good job with the dynamic between the other Spider-Man and the 2.
Such a good job. They did such a good job.
It was really like goofy and clever, but also felt like it's a weird concept.
Because they're all different.
Yeah, a parallel universe with a different Peter Parker, but they made it work, and it was really cool.
They did a
I don't know how to
great
describe
job.
it, but I liked it.
And then he's just like, oh, I'm Peter Parker. She throws bread at him. Just to see if he had Spidey sense. That was a funny
Makes
scene.
him jump on the ceiling to prove it.
Well, no, he jumped on the ceiling to prove it, but then they wanted to get the cobweb, so he crawled over to get the cobweb. That shit was funny. And then they try again, and I'm just like, okay, they're gonna get Tom Holland this time. I still had doubts. Okay, I'm gonna talk about this right now. The reason why I had doubts of Tobey Maguire being in this movie, you know how you like, it's kind of like the nostalgia factor where you think something was so good, and you want it to be that good. But it's only that good because of nostalgia, and it's because it's in your head. Mm-hmm. I just felt like that to make this movie really perfect for me, I would want to see Tobey, and I just thought I was going to get let down. So I went in thinking, like, there's no way they're going to put Tobey Maguire in this movie.
That way, if it didn't happen,
Tobey's been in one movie since Spider-Man 3.
What movie?
It's called Brothers. One. He's done nothing since. So in my head, I'm like, there's no way Tobey is going to be in this movie. And it happened, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And the way they did it was kind of epic, too, because they put the portal behind him so you don't see.
Mm-hmm.
And the way, like, they kind of just, like, give him an epic entrance, even though he's, like, wearing normal clothes. He's not wearing, like, the Spider-Man outfit. So I thought he was just going to get a cameo without a Spider-Man outfit. And then he eventually puts on the Spidey
He had
outfit.
it under the whole time. My man's ready.
Yeah, so
he don't leave home without that shit.
We actually got what I thought were going to be cameos, full-on supporting actor roles.
Yeah,
where they actually fight the villains, and you see everything that you want Tobey to do again. You see everything you want. For people that like Andrew Garfield, shout out to you. But
he did really well, too.
He did great, too. He's just not my Spider-Man, you know? He's not...
You don't have a sentimental attachment to him?
Do
you respect him as
yeah,
Spider-Man?
for sure. Those movies are good. They're just not as good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's like the worst one. That's like saying like the worst NFL player.
Yeah.
You know, like you're still good.
1% of the world at the thing you do.
But, yeah.
Being the worst Spider-Man still puts you in the top 3.
Yeah, for sure. Like there's not been a worse... There hasn't been a bad Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's been bad Batman. No offense to Batman people.
No offense to which Batman.
Yeah.
Which one's bad? Call him out. Call that badass out.
I don't like Bale.
Bale, fuck you.
I
You're a
don't.
shit
George
Batman.
Clooney. I don't like George Clooney's kind of. I actually don't really like any Batman. I mean, Michael Keaton's okay. I just don't think Batman has been portrayed good enough in film yet. Honestly,
Is there someone you could think of that would do it well? Besides me,
no,
of course.
No, honestly, no. I think it's kind of like anime where the live action will just never hold up to the original. Because like Batman's kind of a comic thing, so I just think Batman does better in the comic world.
I hope one day a Batman comes along that changes.
There's
your
a new
mind.
one, Robert Pattinson, the Twilight guy,
What role does he play in Twilight?
the main vampire.
Yeah, I don't remember them by name.
He's
but I know you're
in
talking
Harry
about.
Potter.
I mean, that dude's everywhere. He's
Yeah.
Batman. He's in Harry Potter. He's in Twilight.
But
Dude's got the bag. Whoever
I
he is.
actually have high hopes for his Batman. It looks good. It looks really good.
I hope he's the one for
yeah,
you. I hope
me
you
too.
find your Batman.
I hope so too. I don't have like negative like thoughts. I don't want like Batman to fail. I want it to be well. But anyway, Andrew Garfield, worst Spider-Man. Not saying much because Spider-Man's been portrayed pretty well over the last since 2002.
This was my introduction to him, and it made me want to watch the movies he's in.
Oh yeah, totally.
I thought he was
the villains
really
are good.
He was hilarious too.
Yeah, he's funny. I think he's a good Spider-Man, bad Peter Parker. That's my thing. Because Peter Parker is a nerdy kid, and I don't. It's hard to picture someone bullying someone that looks like Andrew Garfield.
You don't seem like a bullyable face.
If he went to my school, he'd have
Think he'd be like
everybody
a cool
would
kid?
be his friend. Yeah, for sure. Which is okay.
But it
But
just doesn't
I
feel like
like those
Spider-Man.
movies. I like them a lot. I have them both on Blu-ray. We can watch them together and review them if you want.
I'd watch him sometime.
Yeah, for sure. I actually have every Spider-Man movie, except the new one because it's not out yet.
Yeah, you can't have that one.
But
unless we bootleg that shit. I
But
should've
when,
live
when
streamed it on
Toby
TikTok.
came on screen, I literally said, no fucking way. And freaked the fuck out. And he doesn't look that rough for whatever time period. We haven't seen him since 2007, so that's like 13 years, right?
Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, or 14 years. So, yeah, that's a long time.
Almost 15.
He's like 46 now, so he didn't look that bad. He just looked like he lost a little weight,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But it just looked it was just, I was just crying the whole fucking time. I was crying. I couldn't believe it.
Like from that scene onward? Or just
I
during
started
that
crying when Aunt May died. Probably.
Scene? Aw.
That's when I started getting teary because that shit was a serious scene. And then it just kept getting better and better and better and better and better. And then you start seeing scenes like all three Spider-Men working together.
Dude, I loved before they were like fighting together
Yeah.
when they were
In the
on
lab and shit.
No, a little after. Oh, I guess during the lab and then after the lab when they're just like chatting.
Yeah.
The just them chatting was so
The
fucking
bonding.
good.
And they did the bonding so well because we have the thing is people are like it's kind of like playing for your team, and these are all three different generations of Spider-Man. So there are groups of people that prefer Toby, groups of people that prefer Andrew, and groups of people that prefer Tom Holland, which I get. Tom Holland's great. And all of those people kind of came together at that moment, just like all these Spider-Men came together. And I can tell you right now, I would never think that would ever happen. Ever.
That you would unify a group of people that
Ever.
would be fighting over
In
who they think is the
different
best.
reboots, because they're not even in universes. Marvel had no hand in those first two Spider-Men at all, 0%. It was all Sony.
Mm-hmm.
And now that Disney
So Tom Holland is Marvel's Spider-Man.
Yeah, kind of. Like Sony owns it, but yeah, he's
He's the one that
it's
they have
Disney.
a say in.
Yeah, it's Disney's controlling that shit. Did you stay for the end credit scene?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay, cool. First time I didn't stay for the second one.
You didn't notice that?
I didn't think that there was going to be a second one. honestly.
During these movies now, I don't leave until the lights are on, and on the last one, I've learned.
Dude, sometimes they turn the lights on as soon as the credits start.
Well, if they do that, I'm still
That pissed
staying.
me
Fuck
off.
that. I'm gonna be the last one. to
I'm
leave.
going to show you a meme later about with that. It's actually really funny. But they're starting to team up, make anti-serums for these people, like trying to like get them all captured again so they can do this again. And then they eventually fight together, which The fight scenes in this movie were amazing.
They were pretty good.
Were amazing.
And I typically am not a huge fan of fight scenes. To
Me
be honest.
neither.
A lot of
And
the times they feel really not well done. The camera work kind of avoids the fight to leave a lot
like
to the
a
mind.
montage, yeah.
And it's like, I know, show me what's going on, you fucking twats.
And
but this time they did it.
They reunited the villains with the heroes, like Electro saw Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker again, and they meet up again, and all that was great.
And then Spider-Man 2 gets to save MJ.
He's Spider-Man 3. Andrew Garfield, right? Not Toby.
He's the second Spider-Man, right?
He's
Toby?
the second one, but they kept calling him Spider-Man 3.
Oh, yeah, I meant...
Because he's kind of the reject Spider-Man, for sure. But
he gets
Spider-Man 2 is
MJ.
Andrew Garfield's second reboot of Spider-Man. Redeems himself since you have no idea about the backstory for this one.
No, they tell you during the
yeah,
movie.
they do.
I knew enough backstory that when he saved her, it made me feel emotional too.
He lets Gwen Stacy, his MJ, drop and die. She dies.
Well, he doesn't let her. He tries to save her, right?
Yeah, he
And
tries
his
to save
web
her.
snaps
Fails.
neck.
Yeah, he fails. And
this movie, though, real quick, this reminds me that this movie does such a good job of the whole story would make sense for somebody that's never seen another Spider-Man film at all.
Yeah, I was actually hoping you didn't see him at all, but you saw him probably like once.
Yeah, I saw each one like at least once, and I was really young. And I saw like the first one in this trilogy. But
yeah, for sure.
They do a very good job at making sure that every single person who sits down in that theater has a good enough understanding of what's going on to have like a connection to each character.
And it looks like they're not even trying to do it.
Yeah,
they just do it so well. It's done so perfectly that nothing, and there is so much going on. There's 5 villains, okay, 3 superheroes, a side team, backstory that you're getting all of this from.
Backstory from multiple universes,
yeah. And nothing feels overwhelming at all.
A lot of it's cool how it's done too. It seems to be expressed through dialogue between characters.
Yeah, and it's just so not overwhelming because the issue with Spider-Man 3, Tobey Spider-Man, is that there was Venom. There was Venom, backstory of Venom, Sandman, backstory of Sandman that you had to see, and Harry Osborn turns into the Goblin, and you have to deal with that. So there's 3 villains going on at the same time, and it's not. I don't even know if that one's 2 hours long, but it just was so much in one film, and you're dealing with Peter Parker's story of the symbiote, and he's turning into a villain and doesn't want to do Spider-Man anymore, and he's starting to feel like rage. There's just all these stories going on, and they did it poorly, and that movie was just trash, honestly. I enjoy it because I have nostalgia to it, and I like it, and I don't think the portrayal of Venom was as bad as everyone says it was. I think Topher Grace was decent, but it was just so much going on.
And it wasn't as seamlessly done as this.
It was not executed as well as this, and that's why I think Disney's making these films, because it was done so fucking perfectly. This might be the best, if not one of the best, Marvel films in the entire cinematic universe.
You think it's the best Spider-Man film?
Oh, man, I've been thinking about this for 2 days.
I remember before we watched this, our boy Spencer said that.
Shout out, Spence.
Yeah, he said this was no doubt his favorite Spider-Man film.
No, he said it was the best Spider-Man movie ever made.
And you doubted it.
I did.
But the way you're talking about this,
I said there's
sure
no way, because I think the best Spider-Man movie ever made was Spider-Man 2 with Tobey.
You think it's better than this one?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's close. It's close.
So if this isn't first, is it second?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
Second best Spider-Man
yeah, for
film.
sure. It's top
Arguably
2.
the first.
Yeah. It's. If someone said it was the best, I wouldn't even argue with them.
Now that you've seen it,
I wouldn't even argue with them. I gotta watch them all. I feel like I should watch them all again and then go see it again in the theater. So I'm gonna see this movie. I'm not done seeing this movie.
Yeah, this dude's seen it 4
I've seen this.
times
It's Sunday.
already.
I've seen this movie 4 times. I saw it.
This is twice a day.
And I didn't even see it Thursday.
Yeah, we were at Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, I saw it Friday, Saturday. Oh, no, I've only seen it 3 times.
Damn. Oh, you're seeing it 4 with Matt.
Yeah, I'm seeing it 4 with Matt. I've seen it 3 times. Tomorrow I'm seeing it with my boy Matt.
Shout out
after
Matt.
Pokemon.
Shout out Pokemon.
Yeah.
Shout out Nintendo.
Shout out Matt. Nah, they paying us. Fuck that.
I take that back.
Yeah, hell no.
I'm not even going to get into that. I could talk about that shit forever, too. But where were we?
We're pretty much wrapping it up.
Yeah, we're at the fight.
We're pretty much wrapping it. The fight scene was amazing, and they shot it well. You see individual fights. You see together fights, people helping each other out. Even Ned and MJ are doing great. I just realized there's so much that I still want to talk about, and this is going to be a long one, okay, guys?
I was about to say I don't plan on stopping right now.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, there was just so much. Like, Ned's killing it, MJ's killing it. Like,
can I say about MJ? I've loved Zendaya since I was a kid.
Oh,
like,
shit!
She was in the show Shake It Up when I was like fucking 12 or something.
Hell yeah, hell yeah!
And I've loved her as an actress, and she's continually doing great. And anything I see her in, she's fucking awesome.
How do you feel about her in this film?
Amazing.
How'd you feel about her in Homecoming?
Amazing. Also,
do you think she's evolved?
Yes,
for sure.
I think she gets better and better as the years
for sure.
go on.
She's so good. She kills this fucking
film. Like I said,
film.
she's been doing this shit for so long.
She kills this fucking movie. I'm not gonna lie. She was the one who surprised me the most at how well they did are two people. Okay, it's a tie. Honestly, I'm giving it a tie. I'm not saying one acted better than the other. Who impressed me the most? Zendaya is her name. She did great. She impressed me the most because the first two movies, she's kind of like awkward.
But you feel like she's came into the role.
Do
you think she's awkward as in she's awkward as an actress, or
the character was awkward because she's done other shit
But
before.
do you think she portrayed the awkward character well then?
No, I think the awkward character isn't as awkward anymore. Maybe I don't know if it's Zendaya evolving as an actress or the character evolving. I can't.
Which
really
is kind of.
It's hard to tell.
If it's the character evolving,
I've
it's
seen her
also
in nothing
her
else.
evolving.
I've never seen her in anything.
Oh, geez.
She's a Disney kid. I know that. She's a Disney kid. I've never seen her.
You got to watch Shake It Up. Fuck. That shit smacks.
I have no idea. And the other person that did really fucking great, I'm going to give a huge shout out to Willem Dafoe in his portrayal of Green Goblin.
Oh, that's Green Goblin?
He fucking killed it, dude. He really showcased how good of an actor he really is, even though he's done it over and over and over and over before.
But this is another time he did
it. This is just, can you imagine doing a role in 2002 and then waiting fucking almost 20-some years
to do it again?
And then picking up where it left off like nothing ever happened and doing it that way? It looked like there was no time in between them. He looks great. He acted perfectly. He acted so well he didn't even need the mask anymore. He just portrayed that goblin look because this dude
through facial expression.
Through facial expression, through voice expression, this dude fucking killed it. And people don't really get Academy Awards for superhero films. Joe, the guy that played Joker recently got the Best Actor, though. Mm-hmm. A lot of Batman people get Best Actor. But shout out to Batman, even though I talk shit on it.
We've been talking a lot of Batman this one,
right? But
welcome to our Batman.
I
podcast.
think Willem Dafoe deserves a Best Supporting Actor in this for sure. He killed it as Green Goblin in this one. He did better in this. Okay, that's kind of bold. I almost said he did better in this one than he did the first one. But I don't think he did better. I think he did just as well. And that is so hard to do. Because I'm not going to say Toby did better in this one, did just as well in this one as he did the old ones, because there's no way.
He's also was the main lead in that one.
And he hasn't been in anything.
Lead in this.
Yeah, it hasn't been anything since. But Willem Dafoe,
for someone that hasn't been in anything in a long time,
he did great.
Did well.
He did great. He sounded just like Peter. Yeah, he did great. But Willem Dafoe, it seemed like there was no time in between. It was fucking that crazy. Shout out to Zendaya and Willem Dafoe for doing. Even Tom Holland, man. This is Tom Holland's best movie.
And he's still
This
young.
is his best movie. Yeah, this is his best movie.
A lot of these people, like, I like that it gives you such like a versatile cast too of people that are they've been in the game. Like I said, I've been watching
for a while,
Zendaya since I was a kid, but she's
Tom
still
Holland's,
young. And then
I saw a movie with Tom Holland when he was like 10. He was like a child.
But like these child actors are also now in a film with people who are like seasoned veterans doing this as long as they've been alive.
Tobey Maguire, Willem Dafoe, and the other guys. No, I'm kidding.
This also seems like a cool passing the torch type of thing. Where
it is. It for sure is. And those moments when I felt that, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. So I just started crying. Like I'm seeing Toby, Andrew, and Tom Holland hug. and fight together.
That would have
no
happened.
way, man.
Unless it's like a fucking fanfic.
And it was like such a fan appreciation film, but I didn't care. I didn't care if what they were doing was cheap. It just felt so good. It wasn't wrong. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Did you feel like it was cheap?
No, but that is a cheap thing to do.
It sounds conceptually cheap, but
It's
the execution
totally
was
cheap.
so well that you wouldn't call it
I don't
that?
give a fuck. It's Toby. It's fucking Andrew. It's fucking Tom. And they're all great.
It doesn't sound cheap to me just because of the premise of the multiverse existing within the comics already.
Yeah, that's true.
If it didn't exist and they just made this up so they could do this big collab, then it would seem kind of cheap. But the fact that there's like some sort of premise that already existed that allows this to exist,
For sure.
I like that. It's their take on the concept of the multiverse. And it also sets us up for like, it kind of shows you that the possibilities for these films are now endless. Anything can happen.
Anything is going to happen, which is awesome. And they're never going to be done, and Marvel's killing it.
Do we talk about the end credits yet?
We haven't yet.
No, I mean, do we?
We can right now if you want, when we reset, because we got like...
Finish your thought that you were about to say. My bad for interrupting.
It's just never going to stop, which is awesome, because Marvel's kind of killing it, and it just seems like they're going to do one big... little stories into one big story and then stop. It technically didn't stop at Endgame. It technically stopped at Far From Home. So Far From Home was one big story. And now they're on the Shang-Chi, the new Spider-Man, the Eternals. Black Widow was in the timeline of the old one, but it's considered the new one.
What do you mean by that? So Black Widow is in like the pre...
It's a prequel. It's
a pre-Infinity Wars, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's still in that universe now. We're about to just like expand from there.
We're going to expand from the Infinity Saga, they call it. It's like 22 films.
So if the last series was the Infinity Saga, what is this one called?
No idea. They haven't announced the name.
Was this film the first of that saga, or is this
maybe
Eternals? Was, dude, that was a good one.
Or
did we review Eternals yet?
I've never seen it.
What?
I've never
watched it. What the fuck is your problem?
I might see it tomorrow.
Go see it. I would love to do one on that. I like that film a lot.
I might go see it tomorrow. Or
I wish I wasn't busy as shit tomorrow, because I would go see it again.
That sucks.
Oh, wait.
Maybe Tuesday.
I'm Are you going to locals tomorrow?
Uh-huh.
Dang, I was going to say, if you're not, I would go see it during that.
I am.
Dang, maybe I'll see it after.
Hopefully someone has a movie.
Bro, I might watch Eternals after therapy and then just go, we could do a podcast on that next, because you should see that.
Tomorrow?
It was good as fuck, yeah. I liked Eternals a lot, but I got to stay on Spider-Man.
I don't want to skip locals.
I mean, you can watch it after. I'll watch it.
We're going to see Spider-Man after.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go Tuesday.
Yeah, you make sure you see that film.
I'll go Tuesday. I have nothing planned Tuesday, so I'll go Tuesday.
I definitely would recommend that film to anybody that's watching this.
Really? Is it that good?
It was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. The thing, I won't get too into it, but because this is definitely not that podcast. This is a Spider-Man one. But the thing that I think is cool is it's a very long film, but it doesn't feel it at all, because they have a lot to explain, and just like this one, they kind of do it very well.
Good.
And
I'll see it then.
That aside, I think you should watch it. But back to Spider-Man, I think it's crazy that like or I guess this isn't just Spider-Man, but that we're at the cusp of like a new era of Marvel, and this is a really good time. It feels like for me to get into it.
For sure.
I wouldn't call myself like a guy that was invested in Marvel. My dad would put a movie on when I was younger, and I'd watch it with him.
For sure.
So I'd go to a friend's house. They're watching it. I'd watch it.
Eternals is probably the only one I haven't seen.
Of every Marvel film?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I've seen them all at least twice.
But I've seen a lot just in passing, but I've never been like a guy that set out to do it. Yeah. But after we watched Black Widow, I've just kind of like set out to watch them. Yeah, I've watched all the new ones.
The next one is a Doctor Strange sequel.
Which one is it called?
Into the Multiverse.
Oh, cool.
So it sets
also,
up...
Morbius is coming out too.
That's not MCU, but
it's not?
It's weird right now. This is where we could start talking about end credit scenes. It's weird right now because it looks like they were trying to get the Spider-Man villains in the Sony universe that they make origin stories for into the MCU when we saw Carnage.
Mm-hmm.
Because the end credit scene of Carnage, you saw
where he
Tom Hardy morph into that island place and then see Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and Venom was like, we got to get him. And like you thought they were going to cross over. But what I've interpreted from this end credit scene, that he's drunk. They're talking about Thanos doing the snap, making people disappear for 5 years. and they're talking about Spider-Man, and then he gets up, and it looks like what's happening to him is when Doctor Strange sent everybody back.
He went with.
But so he's from another universe, so he left some symbiote.
And that's where we're going to get this Venom.
So we're going to get a different Venom.
Which is exciting, because this was
It's exciting, but people really wanted to see Tom Hardy's Venom.
Well, this is the thing. Tom Hardy's Venom was new to me. I don't think I watched the first one, but like the first one I think I watched was Let There Be Carnage, which I really enjoyed that film. I thought everyone did fine. I think I gave it a 4 when we reviewed it.
Probably.
And but I'm excited to now, having an introduction to him, see how someone else does the role and be able to compare him. So even though I liked him and I would like to see
I don't like him enough to where I give a fuck.
You're not too attached to the concept
I
of
actually
him as
think
Venom?
the Tom Hardy movies aren't that good. I think that they could definitely be better.
Are you excited to see if it is done better then?
Yeah, definitely, because we've gotten Topher Grace and then Tom Hardy, and now we actually have someone that knows how to make superhero films. No offense, Sony. Sony, you guys did a great job with Tobey's Spider-Man with the first two, but the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 are pretty good, are okay too. They're good.
The second guy, right?
But it just seems like that, like compared to Marvel,
they dropped the ball.
They have a more consistent record than you guys do. And to see Marvel have creative direct.
I love the way you said you guys, like Sony's watching right now.
Shout out.
They better be, like, if you're not, that's why your movie sucks.
I
You don't
just
listen
think
to our critiques.
Marvel will be able to create. How would I say that?
Finish the thought.
Direct. They would be able to direct the creativity in Venom better than Sony would. I think they'd pick better people. I feel like the movies would just be better. Not saying that there aren't better Sony, like Spider-Man 2, I think is the best Spider-Man movie of all time, and that wasn't made by Marvel. So it's not that, it's just more consistent track record.
But Marvel comes in instantly and drops the heat and gives you number 2.
Kills it. Yeah, just kills it. Like even Homecoming's number 3. Homecoming's easy number 3. It's like probably tied with the first.
And sometimes one. I feel like having 2 and 3 might be more valuable than number 1. Like to say you created 2 in the top 3.
Exactly. Like the top 5 highest grossing box office weekends are 4 of the 5 are Disney movies. So they're killing it. The other one's a Fast and Furious movie.
Which one was it?
Fate and the Furious. I don't know which one that is. But there was a second.
The first end credit scene, actually.
Okay,
it was
first
the first.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know.
Venom was the
Venom
second one.
Venom was the first one.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. Tom Holland.
Oh, yeah. The second one, I didn't really understand, and 2, I didn't like it that much. I felt like I was watching an ad.
It was a trailer for sure. It was
not
a sneak
appreciative
peek
of that.
It was me neither. I was just like, this isn't even an end credit scene. This is just a sneak peek to
I watched
next
the trailers
Marvel
when I
film.
came in. Why am I watching them when I leave?
It's the next Marvel film.
But portrayed in a better way. Like
you should
I didn't
probably
like that I watched
see the
a
first
trailer.
Doctor Strange movie. It's very, very good. It's one of my favorite ones.
Do you think it's integral to like
the
story?
second one?
Probably not, honestly, because I feel like they do these so well. They're tied in the universe, but they're all standalone films.
Oh
at
yeah,
the
for
same
sure,
time.
for sure.
Which is
they do a great
conceptually.
They
That's
cater
crazy
to the crazy Marvel people like my brother, and they cater to the casual watchers too.
Yeah, they do so well of that.
They're perfect.
Like that. That's a craft, and I don't think they get the acknowledgement they deserve on that one. At least
Kevin
that
Feige,
I've heard.
man, you are killing it, dude. Keep making these movies until the day you die, until the day we die, please.
And even then, put your chip in a fucking robot.
Shout
and
out
keep
to
going.
Kevin Feige, man. We love you, man. You're doing such a good fucking job with these movies. Keep it up, man. You're doing great.
I think it's about that time where I ask you what you would rank it,
5.
but I feel like I know
5.
the answer.
This movie is a down. There are negatives, for sure.
Like what?
I didn't like the story. It's not that I didn't like the story. I just think the story.
On the MJ thing, like how not MJ. What's her the Aunt May? How you kind of wish you would have just not listened to her and sent him back.
Yeah, like the story didn't have to happen because it seemed impossible. And he even kept telling him how impossible it was, but for some reason he wanted to be a stubborn child and still do it, which is
dude,
not...
that feels deep because I feel like one of the things that comes with age is like people believing things are impossible because all the time they've existed on this universe, it has been impossible. And I feel like
Spider-Man doesn't have that yet.
Youthful optimism is what makes the impossible possible. And seeing that conceptually in this film, I really enjoy, because when you put it that way, it makes me think like that. And it's just, I think that's the divide between the youth and the elder. I guess
for sure
is that the impossible is attainable in your heart, and if that's the case and you pursue it, you might fail and it might have been impossible, but there's no way to really know.
This is gonna make Tom Holland's Peter Parker grow. I've never seen a character grow so much in a film, and he grew so much in this one. He learned a lot, he did a lot, and the acting was fucking perfect almost. There's no way that this could be topped. Like, everybody did perfect, everyone did a good job. Good 5 out of 5, man. This movie was amazing. It could be the best Spider-Man movie of all time, and you think it is. I'm not arguing you. I just don't know if it was better than Spider-Man 2.
I'd love to hear your opinion on that in like 3 months.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. We'll talk about it on like a movie that has nothing to do with Spider-Man.
No, we'll probably talk about it on a Spider-Man one. Like, I have to still go through and like actually watch them now.
Yeah, we'll review an older one. We'll review like...
I want to watch some of the second dudes.
Yeah, because you haven't seen any of them. Yeah, we'll do that.
Also, one thing that I think we just kind of like blew over and haven't talked about yet was the fact that after the fight resolves, the solution to the problem of all these people coming from the multiverses is that they have to go forward with the original spell that makes everybody forget who Peter Parker is. And so this character's already grown exponentially through the film, and towards the end of the film, he's faced with a new problem, which is that the girl that he loves and his best friend no longer know who he is. And so, like, I just think that we haven't really talked about that much. What's your take on it? How do you feel about that? And do you think that's where the next movie starts?
It could. Yeah, we didn't even touch on the fact that everyone has to forget about Peter Parker at this point. They don't forget where my brother was confused. He thinks everyone forgets about Spider-Man. No, everyone.
They know Spider-Man exists.
They know
forget
about
that
Spider-Man.
Peter
They just
Parker is
forget
him.
that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
And everything about Peter Parker, because MJ doesn't even know him as her boyfriend
and that
anymore.
was such a killing moment when he walks in that coffee shop and she has no idea who she is. Even the goodbye. That was a crazy scene. You know what I mean? Like, so much chemistry has been built between these characters for 3 years, and they finally got it right and perfectly, and he has to say bye.
It also
and it reboots the entire franchise without getting new actors.
The coffee shop scene where she's like working and stuff and they're talking, it's odd because like you still feel that chemistry, but you don't at the same time. Like, you know that there's nothing there, but the fact that they, in this, like, I guess past life, you could almost call it, we're so close, it makes me feel like there's hope that even if she never recollects who he used to be, that she'd fall for who he is again.
For sure.
Also, shout out Carl, because we agreed on this part where
who's Carl?
It's Eric's brother.
Oh,
shout out Carl. We were talking about this where in that scene, it really looked like Ned was sliding in. Like,
Ned's not sliding in.
Yo.
Oh, let's talk on Ned for a little bit. So, what scene I thought was funny is that when he's talking to Toby, he's like, "Do you have a best friend?" And he's like,
yeah.
And he's like, "I did. He ended up trying to kill. He died in my arms because he ended up trying to kill me." He's just like,
"Don't worry, I won't try to kill you."
Which is funny because in the comics, Ned becomes Hobgoblin. He becomes a Spider-Man villain.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen.
I hope it does.
What if that was foreshadowing? To
I think it was. Like, I think that Ned's gonna become a villain and not on purpose. But
he's gonna keep that fucking thing he stole from Strange.
5 out of 5.
Yeah.
It was great.
I think I would give it either a 5 or a very strong 4.
Fair.
I really enjoyed it.
It's no questions asked 5.
If
I could give it a 6,
so
I would.
Last Night in Soho, not the best movie of the year anymore for you?
No.
It still is for me, but I still like
fine.
this one a lot.
This movie was great. 5 out of 5, and it was the end of the year, so We can rank our favorite films
End it
of
on
the
a
year
banger
if you want.
That'd be a cool YouTube vid.
We did. This movie was great. Go see it if you haven't. It's been spoiled if you watch this whole thing and it hasn't. It's gonna do.
If you watch this whole thing and haven't seen the film, this probably
no
didn't
way.
make sense. Just go watch
There's
it.
no way that this movie isn't gonna do $1 billion during COVID.
This week.
Every time I've been in the theater for this, 3 times,
Filled.
it's been filled, full. Every person in every seat.
Yo,
every
dude,
time.
I felt like a
Speaking
Regal.
of-
I felt like I was a Regal employee when I saw it.
We didn't touch on this.
When I saw it, the people to the right of me before we even got in, I was like, "Hey, do you guys have Regal Unlimited?" And they're like, "No, can you tell me about it?"
Oh,
and I'm like, "Oh, listen here, Regal
Oh,
Unlimited, infinite movies every month.
There's a
$18.99
commercial before every
I did better than the
movie.
commercial. They
There's
should
something
hire
wrong
me,
with the
Regal. If you're
commercial.
watching this shit, I could sell your product to anybody on this planet, dude. I should be the Regal Unlimited spokesperson. And this is me directly reaching out to you guys asking. I will clip this. I'll upload this as a short. You're going to see this, Regal, and you're going to hire me. But
For sure.
finish your thought now that I've done
What
my
were we
sales
talking
pitch
about?
to Regal. The fact that it's packed and that every time you go see this film, it's packed.
It is every single fucking seat. Oh, yeah. So, I'm assuming you've never seen the Netflix Marvel films. Or Netflix Marvel shows.
Oh, yeah. I actually was just talking about this with my dad today. Or was
Yeah.
it my dad? Maybe him, maybe someone else. But, yeah, I haven't seen any of them.
There's Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, The Punisher, The Defenders.
I'll be honest, I have no intention on ever watching any of them.
Am I missing any?
So, like, I'm sorry, Marvel. I'll watch your movies. I'll commit for 3 hours, but not watching your shows.
There's not a lot of seasons and not a lot of episodes.
I'm
It's not
still not
intense.
gonna watch it. I ain't gonna lie.
But
I'd rather watch anime.
so
if
their
I'm watching
lawyer.
shows.
So let me give you a rundown of the history of these shows. Netflix brought out these shows. Marvel did them. Netflix brought them out. Netflix and Marvel had a falling out. So they canceled all the shows. Okay. Daredevil's the big one. It was the first one. It was like the main one.
Mm-hmm.
So now, and after that, their contract, Disney didn't have the rights because they wanted to bring the shows into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But now that Netflix had a 2-year, they still own the rights to them for 2 years. They couldn't. 2 years have been gone. So the lawyer was Daredevil in the Netflix show, Matthew Murdock. So that cameo was pretty fucking cool too because it brought a Netflix show directly into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I didn't even pick up on that because I don't know the shows. That's really cool.
In my theater, everyone clapped when they saw him.
Oh, mine was silent during that.
The
Well, not
whole-
silent, but I
during
don't think anyone really acknowledged that that's what happened. Or at
They
least
probably
I didn't
did, but
pick
they
up
just didn't.
on it.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on the fact
But
that they would
I
have been clapping
loved
for that.
seeing Matt Murdock in the film, and I cannot, and I hope to see. I hope they do something with him and not just cameo him. It would be cool if he became the Avengers lawyer, because he's a lawyer. But at the same time, I don't want him to not be Daredevil anymore either.
Yeah, it would kind of suck.
Yeah,
that
because
he
he's a
has
great
role, but it's
Daredevil.
not
The
that role.
show is so fucking good.
If they made him Daredevil, would it make sense given that he just had a role as a lawyer? Would they tie in the lawyer thing to him being Daredevil or no?
I don't know. We'll see.
Spider-Man would be like, damn.
There's so much future in this movie. Thanks, guys.
I'm excited for this because
am
I
too.
feel like an early watcher, but it also feels at a pivotal moment where there's about to be like a new generation of film, and like I'm a new generation of watcher, and it feels like it just feels right, to be honest. That's the only word I could find for it is it feels right.
5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. Go see it again.
Amen. You
Shout
got
out.
any final words?
I love you, Toby.
And I enjoyed myself. Thank you guys for watching.
Bye-bye.